to detoxify your home and your body, right? Because there's a lot of things. There's a toxic environment, like we talked about, right? A lot of times people think about toxic environment, they think about pollution. They think about some other things like that. But what are the toxins that you're surrounding yourself on a daily basis in your home, but also in your body? That's where I get into. So there's toxins everywhere. So first of all, you can't completely avoid toxins. Even at your best that you could possibly do, you're still going to be exposed to toxins on a daily basis. So we want to limit our exposure as much as possible. We don't want to just be pouring more on, more gas on the fire, if you will. So carcinogens, where are they? First of all, like toxins are everywhere. They're in everything, from the food that we eat, the personal care products that we use, the deodorants, the colorings, our food supply, the air that we breathe, everything you touch pretty much has chemicals in it and toxins in it. So carcinogens, what are they? These are things that cause cancer. So these are things that are toxic, that have a toxic exposure to that. So first of all, are toxins banned? Are carcinogens banned? Obviously not, right? They're in everything. They have some things that you're not supposed to, but they're not banned. And especially in the U.S., if you can you can have pretty much any product that you can think of that's in, say, a European country versus in the U.S., you can put the two things side by side. You can see that the same thing, but you look at the ingredients, totally different, vastly different. There's like twice as many ingredients in the stuff that we have, and it's all the junk that has been banned there, but it's still available here in the U.S. And so, but why, the question is, why are we putting these things in? Why are we putting these chemicals in this stuff? You would think that would make it cost more, but they say it makes it cheaper by doing this. So this is the part of the problem that we're exposed to on a regular basis. We need to talk about glyphosate. So you guys heard of glyphosate? You know what that is? Yeah. Roundup, right? And so we obviously are a lot more familiar about it here in this part of the country. We're surrounded by farm fields. I grew up on a farm. Believe me, spraying fields using this. Now they have Roundup Ready corn and soybeans. So they used to be where they used to have to go on it. They have set on a tractor and spray. You'd spray Roundup on the weeds, kill the weeds. Make sure you didn't get it on the plants because it would kill the crop too. Mm-hmm. Now they found out that they have this this bacteria that they can infuse it in the DNA of the grain, the corn, the soybeans, and now it will not, the Roundup will not affect it. The glyphosate will not affect that. So now it's Roundup Ready corn or soybeans, right? So it's genetically modified, the corn and soybeans, and it's also, now that's affecting how that works. So now it only kills just the weeds. But now you'll see, what's crazy is you look at fields now versus fields when I was a kid. I used to have to walk beans, pull weeds, things like that. They don't do that very much anymore. And they just spray instead. But you'll see, now looking down a field, you'll see a lot more weeds in the fields because they've built up tolerance to this stuff. And they're spraying even more, and these weeds have still figured out a way to get around it, kind of thing, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so this is one of the things, but glyphosate is pretty much in almost so many of our processed foods, any of our grains. Glyphosate also is used to, as a desiccant, it dries out the wheat. They use that to dry the wheat out so they can actually process it a lot faster, a lot better that way. And they lose less, they get more production that way. So this chemical that is extremely toxic to our body is that, I used to have a video of, they had the head of, I think it was Monsanto, they had him saying, like, they're interviewing saying, he's saying, it's safe, you can even drink it if you wanted to. So, well, actually, we have a jar of it right here, poured it for him. You ever seen the video? Yes. And he was like, yeah, I'd drink it. Okay, well, here you go. Well, I'm not going to drink that. Well, why don't you say you can drink it? Well, I'm not going to drink that. No, I'm not going to drink it. Well, he would not say, well, I'm not going to drink that. And it's like, you just said you could, so here you go. And he would not do it. And it's like, because he knows this is our carcinogen. It causes cancer. We know that. And it's been linked to cancer over and over again. They had a big lawsuit with Robert F. Kennedy that you want to go in and listen to. Actually, if you really interesting like podcast, Joe Rogan podcast with Robert F. Kennedy, they talk about that, and that one was a big one that was recently out. So if you like to listen to that, that's a really good one to listen to. We talk about glyphosate because he was really big in that lawsuit, was Robert F. Kennedy. And so we look at that, and so here's another one. People are saying they're allergic to gluten. Well, it's not the gluten, it's the glyphosate. So and this is the things that we're in. And so it's this toxin that's in our body, that's being put in our body, and our body is having this reaction to that. It's making us sick. And so this is how we go about that. Does that make sense when we talk about that? So, so how toxins affect the body? I have a fun example we're going to use here. We're going to have a little fun with this. At least I'm going to have fun with this. So Mason, if you want to come up here. So some of you may have always wanted to do this to somebody. So I'm going to use Mason is going to be a cell, right? So if a cell becomes toxic, can you hold on to this for me right here? So what happens when we put toxins in the body? This is how it works. I'm going to get dizzy doing this. But so now as this does this, now these things can, we got to hold on to that for a second here as I get going. Let's see if you can get an arm behind his back. Then we go around here. There we go. Get them all good there. See, look at this. So what happens? These toxins get into the cell, but now after a while they can't get back out. Right? You see how this works? How this can't get out. This is fun because now you can't look at a phone for the rest of the day. It's the best part, right? So you get the idea of what's happening with the cell here. So now it can't breathe, it can't work, it can't get those toxins out that a cell. I'm kind of dizzy now. But you see how that works? The cell cannot breathe, it cannot get rid of those toxins like it normally would. And so this is what happens and stops that cell from being able to function like it normally can. Just like right now, he can't move his arms, right? See, this is the best part. So now we can tickle him all we want. We can't use his phone, any of those things. See, I always wanted to do this, so this is probably the fun part. So, does he understand how that affects the cell and how the cell is going to work? And this is in every cell in our body. And so those toxins cannot get out. Those toxins get in, and now they can't get out. And this is how cancer happens. Does that make sense? And this is happening on a daily basis in the 75 trillion cells that are in your body. This is what's going on. So, thank you. Good job.
Good job.
Maya, I'll help you.
Yeah.
Maya, I'll help you. Thank you. Give him a round of applause for helping there. Now, that doesn't mean you should go home and wrap your kids in saran wrap. It's kind of fun though. Maybe for a little bit to keep them out of trouble. But yeah, no. So how do your carcinogens affect the body? This is how, right? This is how those carcinogens get in. They affect it. They change it. It can change your DNA. So it produces how those bodies, the body is producing more in new cells, and now we have these abnormal cells being produced, and they're not going through the process of apoptosis. Yeah. So there's carcinogens everywhere in our body, everywhere. From our cleaning products, our environment, processed foods, the sprays like glyphosate, like we said. It's even in our water. I can even tell you, working with the Iowa Rusted team, they've even gone into the point now that they're giving everybody their individual filters, filtered water, because they've even had 2 team members over the last 5 years that have been diagnosed with cancer now. So they know that our water is so toxic that we've gotten, even though we've gotten awards for our water, but if you look at the report for here at Cedar Rapids, of some known toxic chemicals that are in our water, they have their limits, right? Their limits of what they'll tolerate in there, their tolerance. Well, in I think it was like 5 different categories, we were right at that max number. So I don't know about you, but I've dealt with statistics and numbers enough that if you have a bunch of categories that are right at that max, either they just stop recording at that point, or they raise the max to where they found it, and then they were going to leave it there.
This is in Cedar Rapids.
In Cedar Rapids, here. And you look at, they had the water report that came out here just recently, a couple months ago in the CR Now or whatever, kind of thing like that. And you can look it up. And look, there's some different categories that way that these toxic chemicals are in our water supply. Not to mention our city system is not designed and cannot filter out everything. I have, we have I have city water, but then I have a whole house filtration system that all my water goes through, and then at my sink at I have a reverse osmosis on top of that it goes through at my sink that we use. And that still doesn't get every hormone out of there, that doesn't get all the birth control out of there, that doesn't get all the antidepressant out of there. That's getting put in our water supply by what we put in our body and comes out of us and goes right into the water source. So you see this is affecting all of us in some way. So we want to filter out as much as we possibly can. So if you don't have some type of water filter system for your house, go buy a Brit or Pitcher one, for $20 or less. That's going to be better than something else. Your refrigerator, most new refrigerators now have filters for that. That helps filter that out. There's always something better you can do along with it. We just look at what's been put in our water supply, especially with all the, again, we are surrounded by so many fields. There's so much chemical runoff that is going directly into our water supply. And we're seeing a lot of other things with this now. So here's a good thing to check when you look about your personal care products. Anytime you go through, go to Environmental Working Group, so EWG. That's a great resource. So if you want to, you can pull out your phone. Here's one for cosmetics. Here's one for your cleaning products. If you want to scan the QR code, it'll bring up and it'll pull out those separate ones. And then when you go to the store, they have this awesome thing. All you gotta do is just pull out. You can scan the barcode in the back, and it'll give you a rating of how good or how bad it is. So it's a really great tool for you. They also have one for the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. So when you go to the grocery store, which ones are need to be organic and which ones aren't. So it really kind of help you out with that. So this is a really great tool. The app you can have on your phone. Environmental Working Group, you actually go to the website, a lot of other information there too. But it's a really great website and app to really help you get to the stuff that you need to get to with that. So anybody else need to take a picture of that? I'll put it up later if we need to here too. Also, another one is de-stress. Like I said, anyone have stress in their life? Mm-hmm. Yes, we all do, right? He's like, Dad makes my life perfect all the time, right? That's what he's saying. I never stress him out. So stress, sleep, and aligning your spine. So that's what we're gonna get into now. So 77% of people reported that stress affects their health. So 77% said the stress levels affect the health of their body. Now, I can tell you right now, you can ask Maya, what's of our population base of our patients that come into the office, of people that tell us the whole truth every time? Well, people that their leg can be falling off, they wet the bed at night, they have a massive migraine headache all day, every day, but they'll tell you that they're good, they're healthy, they're fine. You guys know that person, right? Are stubborn people that won't admit to anything going on no matter what, but their life is in shambles, or their health is in shambles. Does that make sense? So I'm going to say that's not even accurate on that. I'm going to tell you it's higher than that. But this is the people that said that this is the thing. So I guarantee you it's at least 80+%, if not more, right? So that's affecting your health. So we're stressed enough, and our kids. So here's the thing. We talk about stress right now. The stress that's on the average teenager right now is more than someone that was in a mental institution in the 50s. That's how stressed out we are as a society. We are under so much stress, and we're going to talk about all the reasons why that is. But stress severely can affect our life. What we think about, we bring about, right? You've heard of things like that, right? How you process the things around you, your mindset, is so huge in how your body functions. What happens when you're stressed, right? I'm up here speaking. I mean, and not that you guys don't stress me out, but it's still something. You gotta do public speaking. It's one of the worst fears that most people have, right? Is having to come up and do public speaking and say something stupid and get made fun of, right? I can tell you right now, wearing this jacket, I'm sweating in here right now, right? Not that you guys are stressing me out that much, but there's some stress to this, right? I don't want to say something stupid, right? I want you guys. I might want you to like me, but still, I want you to get the information. I want to be able to say it correctly. But stress affects our health tremendously. We get that nervous, get anxious, whether it's, people get hives or break out when they're have a really stressful time in their life. This also creates a lot of other diseases, a lot of other problems in our body when we're stressed. So we're talking about the top 3 causes of stress. News and current events, right? When's the last time you watched the media, the news?
Today.
The news, and you watched that. Was there anything that was uplifting, that to make you feel good about yourself, or make you feel good about your community? There might have, maybe if you're lucky, might have been 1 2-minute blip, but the rest was all about death, destruction, scare the crap out of you, right? I mean, that's what it is. The news is no longer there to inform you. At one point that was the whole point of it, that was the newspaper, it is no longer to inform you, it's to inflame you. It's to get you fired up about something, to get you excited about something. You read articles clear across the board, you constantly see this stuff. It's crazy what we see, how it's affecting what we do then too, and our viewpoint on it. You can have 2 very different articles, but the same thing. And like we saw one, what was the one we were talking about the other day? The article, oh yeah, it was just the other day. One of the things that said explosion at 7th grade in 7th grade school or something like that. And it's like that was the title of the article. So you're like, oh my gosh, there's an explosion. There must have been a gas leak. Something happened. No, it was a 7th grade science class, and something basically enough that a glass container broke, and in the chemistry class that they were in or whatever, and the kid got 2 burns on his arm. That was the explosion. Which, okay, it was chemistry class and the kid was goofing off and something had happened. They called that an explosion, and it's not like part of the school is missing a wall or something like that. That's when I read explosion, that's what I think of. Again, it wasn't to inform, it was to inflame. It was to get me to read that article. It was to get me to do this. It was to get me, there was a point behind it. It wasn't to just give me the information and let me decide on it. This is the type of stuff that really stresses us out, right? If they tell me there was an explosion at my kid's school, what do you think my first response is going to be? I'm going to be like, do I need to run to the school? Do I need to call school? Is my kid okay? Whatever, right? That's the first response, the instinctual response we're going to have. But if it was a beaker of something broke in science class and he got cut by a piece of glass, oh, I'm concerned for my kid, but he's okay. He doesn't need to go to the emergency room. A Band-Aid took care of it. He's fine, right? That was nothing to freak out about, right? But that's why we get another one. Social media. It's not social, and it's definitely not. It's antisocial. I could talk days about this. Believe me, having a 14-year-old daughter, we are so glued to our phones and so much of this, and we can see exactly where everybody is at all given times and what they're doing in this. And first of all, is anything you see on social media, how real is that? First of all, how real is that? Is that someone's true life that you're seeing a picture of their life? No, it's the exaggerated highlights of their life to make it look like that's their daily life all day long. It's never just, oh, it's always that great part. No, they only show the very highlight of them making it up to make their life look better so that they get more likes. And thus we want more likes on that. Because we get a serotonin hit. We get a dopamine hit every time we get that. So we feel better about ourselves. And we feel better when we like someone else's stuff. It creates a stress, and if you don't get enough likes, or if no one likes me, or this or that, and now people don't like me, or whatever, and there's cyberbullying and all the other things. There's all these things that happen in this, and it's the exact opposite of bringing people together. It's pulling people apart. Extremely stressful in our lives. One of the best things to do is just get rid of it. Believe me, you'll find out your life is a lot better. I try and stay off as much as I can, and I still feel myself getting sucked into it every time. And you go on just to check one thing for my business, because I need to post something so you guys see something. To an article that I wanted to share with you, or I wanted to give you some information about the workshop today. And next thing you know, 30 minutes later, I'm still staring at my phone because it's so addictive. This algorithms to get you addicted to this. And now we've lost all this time, that half hour of my day, I've lost. I've been productive doing the things I was supposed to do. Now I'm neglected other things, maybe neglected my family or whatever else I was supposed to be doing. Your home care, whatever, right? Or making the dinner I was supposed to make, or getting the workout in, whatever. So this is where that really comes into play. Our work. Who gets stressed at work? You get stressed. Maya says she gets stressed at work. So, well, I'll say that has to. It's obviously not the. It's not obviously not the patients. That doesn't stress her out at all. It's obviously the boss is a jerk. We all know that. So she's shaking her head yes. So that's, apparently someone's not looking for a raise right now. But no, exactly. We're all stressed at work, right? We want to do well at work, right? What we do. Hopefully you have a passion about what you do. If you don't, I highly encourage you to try and find something that you are passionate about to do that for your living. That's going to make your day a lot better and a lot less stressful if you love what you do. But that's not always the choice, right? And sometimes, even when you're doing things you do love to do, it can be very, very stressful. So, guess what happens when you have a high stress? What happens to your risk of cancer? It goes up, right? Because what we do, you actually, and everything that you do on a daily basis, literally changes your DNA. You turn the switch on and off for what your body does. So it's not your genetics, but your environment and what you do changes that DNA and changes what happens with your body and how it functions, how it heals. So 1 in 3 people don't get enough sleep. So talk about sleep. Do you feel like you get enough sleep? Do you know what's the average? Do you know what according to doctors, what should the average person get? How much sleep should you get? 8. So, yeah, 7 to 9 hours. That's kind of the average that you hear across the board, and that's what most people really need to truly be rested and ready to go. Why is sleep so important? First of all, sleep is when we're shutting things down, and that's when healing happens. So if you're not getting sleep, you're not getting recovery, your body's not healing. Again, I work with the Iowa athletes at the university, and if they're doing these incredibly hard workouts, but if everybody's not recovering, what do you think happens to their risk of injury? It goes way up, right? So there's a really big push for how do we help them recover so that can still perform at their best and keep working towards their goal, right? But if they're not getting sleep, if they're staying up late playing video games, doing homework, social time, and only getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep, what do you think the recovery is? It's not very good. What's the performance? That affects it too. Here's the crazy thing. Think about your typical new medical doctor right out of school. What do they get put on? What kind of work shifts do they get? Do they get the ideal? If you guys go on these 24-hour shifts at work, I don't know about you, but do you function? How well do you function and think and focus if you haven't slept for 24 hours? Anyone ever pulled an all-nighter? Yeah. You're delirious, like you've been drinking, or you're on medication, heavy medications, or drugs that next day, because you're like, I can't even focus on what's right or wrong right now. I can't even know what's going on. Does that make sense? That people have life-making decisions in your life in their hands, and they haven't slept in 24 hours? And that's not the person I want. So, first of all, if you do have to go to the hospital or the doctor's office for some procedures, don't get it done late in the afternoon. Don't get it done. Have that procedure on a Friday afternoon. Or definitely don't want to go there on the weekend, right? Is that the A team there? No, that's the person with the most experience, the person who knows what they're doing. You got the newbie that hasn't slept for 3 days doing that procedure. Not the person I want doing the job, right? That's the last thing we want, right? So if you can schedule those things, make sure you schedule them at a better time, right? On a Monday or a Tuesday at 10 o'clock, right? When are you most productive? At a time like that, right? When you're awake, you're in it, you're with it. Not still basically hungover from the weekend on Monday morning, and I don't want them doing that procedure then. So are you getting enough sleep? What that happens when you deprive that sleep, your body cannot recover, it cannot heal, it cannot get through that process that it needs to. So we want not just focus on de-stressing, right? Because we can't eliminate all the stresses in our life, right? You just can't. We're constantly have these stresses, and some stresses are good. They get us to do things that we need. Sometimes we need a little kick in the butt, right, to do that. procrastinate. No one here has ever procrastinated about anything, right? You know, that paper that's due tomorrow by noon and you haven't started it at 10 o'clock at night yet, right? Right? No one here's done that, right? Or, you know, that big project that was due at work, or, hey, I haven't done my home care yet, and I have to go see Dr. Dietz for my re-exam tomorrow, and I haven't been doing my home care lately, so you try and cram for it and do it in once or twice, and you forgot how to do it, right? That's never happened here, right? You know, so we're gonna do this. Instead of that, we're gonna focus on peace, man, not stress. We're gonna focus on de-stress. We're gonna focus on peace. So one of the great ways to do that, you know, what I love to start my day with is gratitude. So I start off in gratitude and prayer before my head even leaves the pillow in the morning. It's one of my first focus is that when my alarm goes off, sit there, turn the alarm off, I sit there, and that's my first, where I take my mind first place. Not like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this, I'm late, and like that. So it takes prep, right? I've prepared stuff. I've already, before I went to bed, I already organized at least my brain, if not laid out clothes, what I'm gonna wear for the next day. I know it's Wednesday, I'm gonna wear my gray Max Living polo and these pants and whatever. I already have that decided. It's one less decision I need to make that morning. I know it's my job to take the kids to school that morning, so I need to get up and either earlier and get my workout in early, or I have to get up and get ready, get myself ready so I can help get the kids ready and get out the door in time, so I can get to the office in time. So I've already planned all those things out, whatever I need to do, so I don't have that stress first thing in the morning. Does that make sense? Because that's one of the big things. When are you most stressed? Like, oh crap, I'm late, right? None of us have ever been late to anything. Yeah, exactly. So, because no one here is ever late for their appointment either.
Never.
You know, never, right? Yeah, so, because we're always getting the next thing that's on something, and there's things that are out of our control, but again, you can plan as best as you possibly can. These things are still gonna throw you off track, but how you roll with those punches, it's a lot easier to roll with those punches if you've done the pre-work, right? So, that's gonna help it. So, but also, are you taking time to actually shut off? Shut down. Take those mini vacations, right? Whether it be just an hour or 10 minutes or 5 minutes throughout your day to just step away from the stress and the go, go, go of everything. It's that peace management. Are you having time, like for me, this time of year, it's going out hunting, sitting in a tree stand, being out in nature, just sitting there enjoying nature. That is peaceful for me. That helps bring peace to my life, right? I love going and watching my son compete and play in sports and in games, but it's also pretty stressful. Sometimes like my heart rate was a couple years ago. The game hadn't even started yet. He was going to be pitching. He's up to bat, and my heart rate was at 160, and I'm sitting still in a chair with my feet up, and my heart rate was more than him competing. That was stressful for me in that moment. Why? It shouldn't have been, but it was, right? We make these stressful things. I needed some peace management at that time. I needed to walk away and breathe, right? Let it go, right? And so we need that peace management, that prayer time, that meditation time, that whatever it is for you to shut off and walk away for just a moment, right? Exercising your immune system. So this is our fifth one that we want to go over. So exercise is so important. We are genetically required, our requirements for movement on a daily basis. But yet, we talk about our society is such I'll say a lazy society where we want to just a stagnant, a sedentary lifestyle where we're not actively moving. And we get so much that then we can't do what we used to do, and then it's like, oh, I don't want to do that because it hurts to do that, or I feel exhausted, or I can't do what I used to do, so they don't want to do that anymore. But your exercise is a huge part of your immune system. But here's another little quick one for you guys too. It helps support your immune system. It builds that. It actually makes your immune system so much stronger. Also, when we're exercising, what are we doing? We're breathing in. We're oxygenating our body. What do we say cancer cells don't like? Oxygen. So one of the first things you want to do, you want to make sure you're working out if you're diagnosed with cancer. You want to be avoiding the sugar if you've been diagnosed with cancer, right? So those are the things we talked about. Yeah, here, so I want to show this one for you guys here too. Exercise as good as Viagra. So if you want those results, just exercise. You don't have to take this little blue pill, right? You can actually exercise. The research said if you just exercise 3 times a week, you have the same results as if you took this little blue pill, right? So exercise, how important this is for our body. We need this on a regular basis, but we're not getting enough of it. So it's the information for that. Only 1 out of 5 gets enough to meet the physical activity guidelines. Obviously, if you're inactive, you're at a much higher risk for cancer, heart disease, and stroke, etc. Only 25% of children 5 and up already have plaque in their arteries. How do we get that? That means we're not active enough and we're eating a bunch of junk. Look at less than 3 in 10 high school students get consistent physical activity throughout their week. When I was in school, you had gym class every day. Now that's not the case in a lot of schools. You may have it through this quarter of the year, but you don't have the rest of the year. The whole point of it is to teach you how to be physical active for the rest of your life. But that's not happening in a lot of schools. And so they're not teaching you how to do this and be physically active. This is something that's important. This is something that we need in our daily life. We get busy with work and kids and this, and we don't get our workouts in. Now, your workout doesn't have to necessarily mean you're look like this elite level athlete, but you do need movement. You do need activity in your daily life. So Max T3, you guys have seen this before. We do lots of videos. You go to our Facebook page. We do every week, every Tuesday we do here in the office. Everybody's welcome. It's free. I think every one of you guys have been to one of ours. And so it's doing that workout really quick. Most workouts are only 12 minutes. But Mason will help here come and demonstrate one, some workout here. So, come on up. So, he looks so excited for this, didn't he? Come up here. You do this what you guys get to do today. So, we're showing a couple different movements that they can do. Really quick example, easy, 20 seconds of work. So work 20 seconds as hard as you can go, then 20 seconds of rest. Do that 3 times. You only worked out for a minute, right? Do the math there? 20 times 3 is 60 seconds, right? Do that 3 times. That's it. That's your workout for the day. So we're not talking time. Anybody can do this. So I want to show them some. So first, let's do some. Show them punching. We're going to do this. Punch fast as you can. Show them what it's really like. Come on, fast you can. Fast you can. See, you go like that. Okay, now let's drop down and do burpees quick. Do some burpees. Show them what a burpee looks like. All the way down, all the way up. Let's say if you can do that. Now let's show them a modified burpee. Let's go down to your knees. Go down and do a push-up off your knees. There we go. So let's push up there. Now let's do it off the chair. So you can push up on the chair so you're not going all the way down. So that, see, we can see how we can modify these things, these same things. Jumping jacks. Now let's do some jumping jacks. Come on, do a real jump like fast, right? All right, so they get it. Yeah, see, he's already starting to breathe heavy, and we haven't even been doing. I've only had him do 3 exercises, and it's only been a couple, not even 20 seconds here. So you can see, and he's in shape compared to most of us right now. He works out and does more than what most of us do. He's actively doing things. Thank you. Now you can have a seat. But you can see we can modify this. We can do any type of movement. We can do just stairs in your house. Instead, just go up your stairs at a brisk pace, then walk down slowly. Go back up. Do that a couple times. Go around the block. Maybe you walk fast as you can up one side of the block. The next part you walk your normal pace. And it's just a nice little square around the block. Do it like that. Really easy. We can all do these type of things. This is what's going to help. It's going to oxygenate the body. It's going to create lean muscle, right? It's going to help decrease your fat. It's going to be able to make your body function and heal much better. Your brain's going to work better. Everything's going to work better. So exercise is so important. So this is to show you. This is Masha and Dasha. This is 2 conjoined twins, born in the early 50s. And so they shared legs, bowel, and bladder, but they had separate circulation systems. So it's separate. Actually, they shared this. They had same blood flow, so they had the same blood, but they have different nerve systems, separate spine. They had 4 arms. So very unique about this. But the thing is, they had the same blood going through their entire body. But yet, how come one could get sick and the other one wasn't? It's kind of essentially the same body, right? But sharing the same blood, You'd think when one gets sick, the other one would get sick, right? They found out they had two separate nerve systems controlling. They shared the bladder, they shared the bloodstream, and that one would get sick, one wouldn't. One actually developed alcohol addiction, the other one didn't. Wait a minute, right?
Stuck together.
They had two different separate nervous systems. So your neurology is everything. Your nervous system controls everything in your body. Because if it was those, otherwise, if it was genetics, if it was this, they'd both be sick at the same time. You would think they would be. And it's not if you can get away from each other, right? One's sick, it's breathing on the other one, whether you want it to be or not, right? They have the same body. They should both be sick at the same time, but they're not. And so this is what this taught us, is that it's the nervous system controls everything. And this is the key to everything that we do, is your nervous system. We know that's your master control. It controls every cell in your body. And so this is how, you guys know the person that works out all the time, eats right, should be the most healthiest person. They look like the healthiest person you know, but then they're diagnosed with cancer or heart disease or something like that. But then you have Uncle Eddie at the family reunion, who smokes 3 packs a day, drinks a fifth of whiskey a day, does everything wrong. He never worked out in his life, right? And yet he's still 90 years old and he's been doing this since he was 12, right? You're like, he does everything wrong, and somehow he's healthier, doesn't have cancer, doesn't have heart disease, doesn't have any of those things, but yet the person who does everything right, you notice there's a difference there? It's neurology. That guy Uncle Eddie can put everything wrong into his body, but his body was able to work enough to be able to filter those things out and survive and keep going through those things. Where the person who was doing everything right, their nervous system wasn't able to fire, wasn't able to heal, wasn't able to get through that. What's going on? That's where it comes down to. Your nervous system controls everything. So, this is a quote by B.J. Palmer. Medicine is the study of disease and what causes man to die. Chiropractic is the study of health and what causes man to live. So it's a little different outlook that we have here, obviously, and how we go. We're about how do you live, keep you living, not just stop you from dying. There's a big difference in them. Do you see that? You go to your doctor, it's how do I eliminate, their goal is how do I eliminate that symptom, that pain, that whatever you see, not what's causing this. Our goal is what's getting to the root cause, and that's where the healing happens. That's where life happens. So if we know the nervous system works, it's what's stopping that nervous system from functioning. That's the goal. So how do we remove that interference? So the thing we look for is called subluxation. And that subluxation is anytime the spine has shifted out of place, putting pressure on that nerve, causing damage and dysfunction to start to happen in the body. Just like if I have a garden hose here, if I step on it, the water's still going to come through, but it's going to be diminished, right? But if I put a kink in it, I can pretty much stop it. Same thing. If the nerve flow can't get through there, the body can't heal, it can't function, and it can't work the way that it needs to. It can't fight off cancer, can't fight heart disease, can't fight the flu, can't fight a cold, can't fight anything if that nervous system isn't functioning at 100% like it needs to. So our goal is to help get you as close to that 100% as possible. That's why you have your regular adjustments. That's why we call you and text you and remind you, because it's that important. Would it be a lot easier if you just did? Yeah, sure. Believe me, it would be a lot less stressful on our if we didn't have to call you or do that. But we care about you. We want you the best for you guys. That's why we ask you on your re-exams. We ask about your home care. We want to make sure you're doing all those things because we want to make sure that you're getting the best results possible because we want you to be as healthy as possible. The last thing I want to do is have to go to another funeral. I've been blessed in my career in 19 years. I can count on one hand the number of funerals I've had to go to with patients. 19 years, I've seen a lot of people. Because people will help people get healthy and stay healthy. Healthy people, that's not the road they go down, right? Sick people do. So how do we get you as healthy as possible and stay as healthy as possible for the rest of your life? Not just for these symptoms, I feel good now, so I'll just come back when I need it. Because I've never heard that before, right? You're just gonna work out when you need to, right? Swimsuit season's not coming up for a little while here, so it's the holidays, I'll just let everything go. I'll get back to it when it comes spring, right before it happens. You know, how's that work out? It doesn't, right? Yeah, you never get back to where you were. Same thing, your health, you can never get back to where you were if you don't stay consistent with it. Your health's your most valuable asset you have. Without your health, you don't have anything. Doesn't matter how much money's in the bank, doesn't matter where the kids go to school, doesn't matter who your best friend is. None of those things matter. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And that all starts with your nervous system. And so we'll make sure that you're cell fixation free. Warning signs from everything from, we all know that person that has headaches, migraines, your immune system, colds, allergies, all that stuff right at the very top here. We get to the middle of your neck, that's area goes to your thyroid, so that's your energy levels. That's also trouble with weight gain, weight loss. We get down right in your lower neck here, that's going down your shoulders and your arms, so numbness, tingling, grip strength. With those same nerves go to your heart, your lungs, trouble breathing, chest pains, things like that. And a little bit lower goes your stomach, your esophagus, heartburn, acid reflux, digestive issues. We get liver problems, pancreas. You talk about diabetic, things like that. We get down lower, we get to your kidneys, help filtering things out. Your adrenal glands for getting more energy levels. We get down your bowels, help them absorb the good foods that you do have, but also excrete and get rid of those toxins. So are you going to the bathroom like you should? Do you have constipation? Do you have diarrhea? Do you have numbness, tingling in your legs? Do you have any sexual dysfunction that is your body working like it's supposed to? Your reproductive organs working? Are you having the best quality life? And then on top of that, do you feel good? Because that's how it starts. Most people start there. You feel good. No, it's, are these things working? And if these things are working, you're going to feel good. Does that make sense? And so I know of what I just talked about. I know you guys all know at least 3 people that have at least one of those things. You probably know 3 people that have all those things I mentioned just now. So this is why it's our mission to help save and change as many people as we possibly can. More people need to be here. I know every one of you can think of at least 3 people that should have been here to hear what we talked about today, that need to make some of these changes, right? And I know none of us here in this room are perfect and are doing everything we talked about perfect. So first of all, what do you need to do for yourself? But then who else needs to hear this? And that's why we have trying to have as many opportunities as possible for people that you know to be able to plug into these things too. So for your action steps, right now what I want you to do is take out your piece of paper, whatever you have, your notes that you've been taking. What are the action steps? What do you need to work on? Take a moment. What do you need to work on for yourself? Does it you need to change your diet? Or you need to be more regular on your home care? Do you need to get your exercise in? Do you need to look at your cleaning products that you use in your house? Do you need to look at your personal care products? Do you need to use the EWG app when you go shopping? What are some action steps for yourself? So I want you to figure out 3 action steps for yourself. Not more than 3, because if you have just a list of 30 things, you won't do any of it, right? And so I know a lot of you guys took some really good notes. I want you to pick out 3 things for yourself. What are 3 things for yourself that you need to do? But then after that, we're like, who needs to hear this? Who needs to be part of this? Who needs to plug into this? And so that's one of the things that we have coming up here. We have our community dinner. This is one way that we'll plug them in. You get to say, hey, you want to come out to dinner with me tonight? And guess what? I buy dinner. You come out to dinner. The next one here, where's our next one going to be at here, Maya? Is it going to be at the Edison still? Okay, good. It's going to be at the Edison, so just right down the road here on Blair's Ferry Road. I take everybody out to eat. Just invite whoever you want to invite. They come out to eat with us. We all have a meal. I'll talk for maybe 10 minutes and explain more about what we do. And if that's something they're interested, they can schedule an appointment. If not, no big deal. We just enjoy some food together, hang out together. Actually, what's the time if you want to ask me questions, talk to me about stuff, or just find out more about who I am, perfect chance. I get to find out a little bit more about you guys, talk to you, just have a good night out, having a great dinner. That's a great way to do that. We also have a lot of other activities. We have coming up here, we have our patient appreciation and hygiene drive for families helping families. So here coming up, going into the holidays, a lot of times you see canned food drives or coat drives or toy drives. Well, we've teamed up with Families Helping Families. So this is for kids in foster care. Making sure they have the items that they need. And there's a big lack and a big need for hygiene items. And we have a whole list of all those things here, from everything from diapers to personal care products, to underwear, you name it. We have a whole list of things that you can donate for that. That's going to donate that. You bring a donation, that covers the cost for someone to get checked out, like the cost of their exam. So really easy. You want to bring in a box of diapers, that covers for someone to get checked out for that day. So that family member, that friend, or just someone you stranger you don't even know, a coworker, someone they can get checked, chance for that. And we donate 100% of that. And so those are just some of the ways that you can plug someone in. Also, we also have something that's really simple in our office. We have cards that you can give out to anybody, and magically that covers their cost of their exam is only going to be $25. Really easy. You can refer someone in anytime. It doesn't have to be one of these specific times, but you can help that reach that person that wouldn't normally not have gotten the help. And that there's nothing worse than the pain of regret. There's the pain of doing something, but worse is the pain of regret of not doing something, and something that you should have done sooner. I wish I would have told my friend this sooner. I wish I would have got to them sooner. I wish I would have told them, because now they have this big problem that's a lot harder to deal with. And how much do you have to not like someone to tell them there's something that would have helped them? So sometimes it's getting out of our own comfort zone and actually sharing the truth and speaking up. And so we have these things to help plug those people into, help them out, and get into those things. So last things we have here, we have some QR codes. This is our Facebook group, our mindset group. This is this big one here. So we always are posting things to that. Also little tips, tricks, lots of motivation type things, help you be part of. You have questions, you can join us on those things, really easy, a lot of fun. It's another community group that we have. Here's our Facebook, our Instagram, and our YouTube. You can be part of that. Again, we're putting videos up. We shoot videos every week, multiple videos. So there's always something new for you up there. Either what's going on here in the office, some tips, some tricks for you. We're explaining what things are, why that is, how that are, and especially with health topics. So with that, we're going to do a couple more raffles here. So you want to help hand these out here for us? Mason, you said you wanted to draw, but you want to pick the item here? All right. What we got first there, Maya?
Dishwasher powder?
Dishwasher powder, that goes to Aaron gets dishwasher powder. He doesn't have a dishwasher, so we'll grab something else different for him. He can get some. All right. We got
Odor eliminator?
odor eliminator. Mason, right? No, that goes to Jen. All right. A couple more left in here. Erica, a shirt looks like. So you find a shirt that fits you. All right, what do you got now? What's the next prize there?
Dishwasher powder?
Dishwasher powder. Mason, I guess, from that response. I guess you get to do the dishes today.
No.
He's like, all right, well, there's another one here. Last one, Jocelyn, what did she get?
Bathroom cleaner?
She gets bathroom cleaner.
There we go.
She lives with Maya, so she says, guess what? You're cleaning the bathrooms today. Awesome. That was, everybody should have actually even gotten something here, so that's awesome. We were able to do that here today. So, if you didn't pick your prize, or something, if you had a shirt that didn't fit you or something like that, we'll make sure we get something for you here yet too. So, thanks Mason for helping out. I appreciate it.
Great work.
That was the saddest part. There we go.
It's all that workouts you had to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the hard.